Hello students, so we are back with a very important video this time. That is what should be your final strategy for JEE Mains. Now we have around roughly 80 days remaining with us now, and what you do in this last 80 days matter the most. In fact, I'll say that JEE preparation is like a marathon. In marathon, it might be possible that someone is ahead of you earlier, but whoever pushes the most, whoever runs the best in the lap can make a difference. In fact, even the old story of the race between tortoise and rabbit, where rabbit slacked off at the end, made tortoise win. So the thing is, a lot of changes can happen in the last 80 days. So it's very important that we are ready with our strategy, what to do, why to do, and how to do. So now, as I said, roughly we have around 80 days left with us. Now, it is very important that we break down this entire 80 days. Do not think that, okay, I have 80 days, I have a lot of time, I can finish revision. No. Think of in terms of which topics are important. Think in terms of what is your goal, what is your ambition. So in this video, we'll be specifically talking about how to ensure that you get a pakka, definitely a seat in NIT. Because like you will be eligible for a state quota, whichever state you are from, you will be eligible for the state quota to get a seat in NIT, that is 50% of the state reservation. So our major focus in this video is how to ensure that even if you're struggling, you'll pakka 100% get NIT seat. So based on that, we have come up with the strategies, what to do, how to do, and when to do, because that is very important. So I told final countdown is on us. We have only 80 days. It's not more, it's very less. Now why I'm saying it's very less, because you have to cover almost 60 chapters. It's like roughly around 20 in physics, chemistry, and maths. So we can say that roughly you have to cover 60 chapters in this next 80 days, and not just cover, you have to solve it and prepare for the full test. By full test I mean full syllabus, just like JEE comes. So what all we'll be covering is about syllabus completion, about revision, as well as about the mock test and fine tuning. So starting out with the syllabus completion. So I hope many of you will be around or almost done with your syllabus. If in case you are not done with the syllabus, each and every one of you ensure that by 10th of November you are done with your syllabus, because revision requires some time. In fact, we'll be talking about that in detail. So if you are done with the syllabus by 10th of November, we are on a good track. Nothing to worry. Even if it gets a little bit delayed, even then nothing to worry. We are there to help you out. So first of all, I guess finish your syllabus by 10th of November, max to max, so that by that time, let's say you have around 70 days left with us. So what to do in the 70 days, we'll see in detail. So ensure that like entire syllabus is covered, and I hope by now you have marked down your weak areas, like what are your weak areas in 11th, what are there in 12th. And one more thing is that on an average we can say 12th have more weightage in JEE Mains, around 60 to 70%. It can vary year to year or date to date, that around 60 to 70% will be coming from the grade 12, and around 30 to 40% will be coming from grade 11. It can vary, it can go sometime max to 45, but it will be 12th will be always remain more than 50, and 11th will remain always less than 50%, but 11th will not go down beyond 30%. So the thing is, we have to change our mode, we have to go into the revision mode once your syllabus is over by 10th of November. Now what should be the revision plan, because now we have 80 days or let's say by 10th of November when you start, you will be having only 70 days. But in those entire 70 days, you cannot just keep on revising chapters, because if you keep on revising chapters, then when you will do the full tests are very important. So we can say that roughly you have only 60 days to do 60 chapters. Now in the 60 days, you will also have school practicals, you also have that practical notebooks. So all of that things will also come in between. You might have the essay exams, pre-boards in your school, you have to prepare for that. So all of that will come. So but roughly you can say you'll have 60 days. Now some of you might be well ahead in your preparation. So if you're well ahead in the preparation, you can change the number accordingly. So as I'll repeat it again, I am making this video on an average to ensure that you get a seat at NIT. If you are already at a level where you are doing very good, it's better. You can reduce your time and you can focus more on covering better and more topic, more questions, etc. But right now we are focusing this video only in such a way that we ensure that you get a seat at NIT. For the other cases, we will have a separate video. So the strategy is you have to finish 60 chapters in 60 days. That means every day you have to finish one chapter. Now finishing chapter doesn't mean that you just keep on reading. Reading is the most useless, the most time destroying thing you can do for your revision. So do not read, write it down, recall question and do questions. So on an average you have to do one chapter per day. I'm talking about including all PCM together. So if you have to do one chapter per day, ensure that you finish the revision of the theory quick, and after that you practice all the last 6-year PYQ, because that is very important. So last 6-year PYQ if you are doing, more or less your preparation will be very solid. In fact, we had a student who have followed this exact guideline. They were a student whose preparation was very bad till the month of October, but from November they just followed whatever guideline we told them, and just in those 3 months they have shown tremendous improvement. They have got above 99 percentile, and once you get above 99 percentile, your seat is pakka at NIT. So you have to do daily one chapter. You can take this idea which way you want to do. You want to do alternate physics, chemistry, maths, or you want to do all three together but half of the chapter. That is up to you, because that strategy can differ from student to student depending on their comfort level, how they study, what is their strategy of study, etc, etc. So on an average we have to cover this much. Now if I talk about subject wise strategy, that is also very important, because over the last 5-6 years we have seen chemistry comes significantly easy and restricted to only NCERT. Physics comes somewhat moderate, and maths have been coming difficult and lengthy for the past 5-6 years. So generally if the strategy for the chemistry in recent years have evolved in such a way that you focus on NCERT, you mug up NCERT. Okay, mug up is not the right word or the appropriate word, but I'll say that you should be so familiar with NCERT that you know every nook and corner of it. So my strong recommendation is prepare a chapter, then give the NCERT to your parents, ask them to ask anything from that chapter. So you should be that much familiar with NCERT and practice a lot of MCQs. So at chemistry point of view, ensure that you are very thorough with NCERT. Chemistry questions will be relatively easier. Seeing the trend, it might change again, it might change, but seeing the trend. So try to get around 75% marks in chemistry. Because if you're thorough with NCERT, it's not that difficult to get 75 marks in the JEE Mains chemistry part. And apart from being very familiar with the theory, which you can do through multiple revision or taking help of your parents or someone who asks you questions, ensure that you are finishing all the PYQs. As I told, last 6-year PYQ is common compulsory part for all physics, chemistry as well as maths. So this is for the chemistry part. Coming to the maths and physics part. So maths we have observed have coming very lengthy and kind of difficult also in some of the sessions. So in maths, your priority should be that you should do 10 questions, but do that 10 question pakka, solid, correct. So only do 10 questions, but ensure that you do this 10 question correct. If you get 40 marks in maths, you are undoubtedly will get more than 99 percentile just in maths. So but if you are trying to be overly greedy, you say that okay, I'll attempt full maths. Believe me, it's not very easy. In fact, those of very high rankers also, they struggle a lot to get marks more than 17 maths. So ensure that you focus only 10 questions, get the 10 question correct, get 40 marks in maths. Believe me, it's highly achievable. In fact, in maths, a strong suggestion that you only focus on few things, that is vector 3D, because around 2 to 3 questions comes on an average from there. It's an easy chapter. Question will come lengthy, but relatively there conceptual, it's not difficult, it's easy. Focus on entire calculus, which is majorly of your 12th, and focus on algebra. That means probability, permutation, combination, binomial theorem, complex number, quadratic equations, progression in sequence. So all of that, focus on that. So if you just focus on these things, algebra, calculus and vector 3D, with that just alone 75 to 80%, or not 80%, but 75% of the maths paper will be from it. If you get more time, you can do coordinate as well, like the straight line, circle, parabola, ellipse, hyperbola. But if you focus just in this, with that 75% of the questions or the marks will come, and from that achieving 40 marks is not that difficult. So be very specific, do not try overly greedy, because that might make everything go wrong. And similarly in the physics, because physics comes moderate, so ensure that you pick only 15 questions and do that 15 question right. So you'll get 60 marks. Or let's take a buffer, let's take you do only 20 questions. So you take a target 20 questions in physics, 24 questions in chemistry and 10 questions in maths, and try to achieve as much as you correct. So what will happen with that, around 75 marks you will get in chemistry, 60 marks in math, in physics, and around 40 marks in math. So you'll get a total of around 175 marks. And believe me, if you're getting 175 marks, 100% will get NIT. In fact, to be precise, NIT Tirchi, which is one of the most like among, it's not the only prestigious, but one of the top few NITs over there. If you belong to the same state, you can get NIT Tirchi for around 98.5 percentile. And if you are getting a marks like around 175 or 180 marks, 100% you'll get NIT without any doubt. So have that clarity and prepare strategy appropriately. And generally we have been seeing that maths is coming lengthy compared to physics, and in fact chemistry comes easy. So on an average, if I talk about any student who have been achieving NIT seats recently, they spend around less than 40 minutes in chemistry. They around almost 1.5 hours in maths, and remaining time in physics. You can say maybe around 1 hour. So that is a strategy many students have been following. So with that, it will be pakka sure shot that you will get NIT. So that is what is our major focus in this video. Separate strategy have to be applied when you are aiming for a marks, let's say about 250 and so on, but that we'll talk about in some other video. And the most important thing is that you do proper PYQ practice. So ensure that last 60 PYQs are done, because if you're not doing PYQ, you are doing a gamble with your preparation. You never know it will go right or wrong. So ensure that you get PYQ. And now the third part, or the most important part, is you have to schedule proper test, proper full test. So why I said that you have to finish 60 chapters in 60 days, because last 20, worst to us 10 days, minimum 10 days. So for example, if the exam starts on 20th Jan, so at least from 10th of Jan, if you can do before, that is even better. If you can do before, let's say if you can do from mid of December, it's best. But at least ensure that the last 20 days are dedicated only towards practicing full syllabus mock test. Full syllabus means, and like just like a real JEE means entire 11-12 mock test. So you should do full syllabus mock test at least for 10 days. That's worst case scenario. That means daily you should write minimum one paper, if you can write two paper as well. Why I'm saying this? Because there's a very popular saying, write so many mock tests, or take mock test like a real test, so that real test feels like a mock test. So you should be so familiar with those tests that you do not feel anything in the real JEE mains. So that is why ensure that you write minimum worst to worst 10 mock tests. A good number will be 20. If you can do even more, that's even better. So in fact, many of those who get very good percentile, who goes to IIT, they in fact do more than that. But yeah, I'll say that mid 10 is a minimum requirement. We are talking about getting a seat at NIT. So ensure that you do minimum 10 full syllabus test, and do proper analysis of this. There's no point of just writing a test and checking your marks. You have to do proper analysis. Another strong recommendation is that among those 10 papers, at least one paper you try as the last year paper. You can pick up 2025 any April session paper, try it as a mock test, and just see how well you are faring, because that gives you the most clear-cut picture where you stand. Preferably do that in the beginning itself, so that you have time to work upon your strategy. So I told you these three are important: syllabus, revision plan, PYQs, and the test paper. If you just do these things, NIT are pakka, sure shot guarantee. So keep that in mind, that you should have the right mindset. Stay positive. Remember that quality over quantity. Do not try to do everything. If you do everything but do everything bad, it's useless. Focus on less thing, do it better. Have proper sleep, proper nutrition. It's very important that you get the right sleep, right support. You cannot afford to fall sick, because if you fall sick, it's again like it will push back your preparation. My strong suggestion is think of that January session as a last session, because that will help you to prepare better for it. Do not rely too much on the April session. Avoid distraction. I hope none of you, or because only few days are left, so avoid any kind of social media which is useless. Avoid any kind of random discussion, random topic. So avoid anything which is not useful for you. Stay focused. That's the meaning of focus, that you only see your goal, nothing else right now. And exam practice, you have to practice like a real exam. Proper schedule, like when you write mock test, write either 9 to 12 or write 2 to 5, so that you get the real exam feel. So this is the action plan for the next 70 days. So we hope that you find this video very useful. If in case you need any extra help, any specific suggestion based on your preparation level, you can comment below in this video. We'll definitely get back to you. So we are there to help you out in every single step for this JEE Mains preparation, this entire journey. So that's all in this video, and wish you all the best for JEE Mains.